After several seasons away from the forefront of New York Fashion Week, Calvin Klein has confirmed its commanding return for the Spring-Summer 2026 SS26 season. Industry insiders had long speculated about the brand's runway comeback, but the official announcement brought a fresh wave of buzz, not just within fashion circles, but also across digital communities spanning music, culture, and design. Jungkook's name resonates across platforms as Calvin Klein prepares for its NYFW return. One name is generating unparalleled digital traction: Jungkook, global icon and BTS member, whose partnership with the brand continues to reshape public perception. While Jungkook is not directly involved in the runway planning, at least as far as official statements reveal, his past and ongoing campaigns with Calvin Klein have elevated the brand's relevance among Gen Z and millennial audiences. Social media timelines are filled with speculative content. Will Jungkook attend a show? Will he be part of a surprise campaign drop during Fashion Week? Regardless of his physical presence, his influence is undeniable. Campaigns featuring Jungkook regularly trend worldwide, not just because of his celebrity, but because of how seamlessly he embodies the Calvin Klein identity: effortless cool, understated sensuality, and global charisma. In fact, internal reports from market research firms indicate a measurable uptick in brand searches and online engagement every time Jungkook content is released in Calvin Klein apparel. It's not a fleeting celebrity endorsement. It's a mutually beneficial cultural alignment. The build-up to Calvin Klein's SS26 show has reached a level of anticipation rarely seen in the NYFW circuit in recent years. Unlike traditional marketing approaches, Calvin Klein has employed a hybrid digital-first strategy this season. Short-form video teasers, cryptic visual posts, and subtle behind-the-scenes content have begun circulating across platforms like TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. Fashion critics are already speculating that the show will redefine Calvin Klein's place in contemporary style. Fashion editors from Vogue, Business of Fashion, and The Cut are expected to attend in full force, alongside stylists, influencers, and tech-forward creatives. Calvin Klein has always walked the tightrope between high fashion and pop culture. From Kate Moss in the 90s to Justin Bieber and Kendall Jenner in the 2010s, the brand understands the power of celebrity when paired with a strong creative message. Jungkook represents a new evolution of this strategy. He is not just a model. He's a globally recognized musician with an engaged fan base that transcends borders. His appearance in Calvin Klein campaigns brought more than just aesthetic visibility. It brought quantifiable consumer engagement. NYFW SS26. Even without an on-stage performance or live appearance, Jungkook's cultural echo is expected to shape conversations in real time. His image, likely to be integrated into show visuals or digital collateral, serves as a connective thread between the runway and the audience watching from around the world. In the world of modern branding, celebrity collaborations are nothing new. But what Calvin Klein has built with Jungkook goes beyond a simple endorsement. It is a long-term, multidimensional brand alignment that has elevated both names across industries, markets, and continents. When Jungkook was first introduced as a global ambassador for Calvin Klein, the reaction was instantaneous and far-reaching. Social media platforms were flooded with hashtags, reposts, edits, and commentary. Within hours, the campaign broke records, not only in terms of engagement, but also in e-commerce performance. It's important to understand what made this collaboration different. Unlike previous celebrity campaigns that leaned heavily on shock value or controversial aesthetics, Calvin Klein's approach with Jungkook was rooted in authenticity. The visuals were simple yet striking. The styling was clean but powerful. And most importantly, Jungkook wore Calvin Klein as if it was his own wardrobe, not a costume for a marketing stunt. According to data analytics firms tracking luxury fashion campaigns in Asia and North America, Calvin Klein's brand sentiment and visibility increased by more than 300% in the 48 hours following Jungkook's campaign drop. The brand saw not only a surge in product searches, but also a marked rise in conversion rates, particularly in younger demographics. What sets Jungkook apart is his ability to organically embody the Calvin Klein aesthetic. He doesn't just represent the brand. He aligns with its visual DNA, modern minimalism, understated confidence, and effortless cool that end previous decades. Calvin Klein was known for provocative campaigns that sparked controversy. But with Jungkook, the tone shifted. It wasn't about rebellion for attention. It was about quiet confidence and elevated simplicity, traits that speak directly to today's fashion-forward but culturally conscious consumers. From classic denim-on-denim sets to sleek monochrome outfits, Jungkook has reintroduced Calvin Klein staples to a new generation. Many pieces he wore during campaign shoots were immediately sold out, and some limited drops even created temporary server crashes on regional e-commerce platforms. Jungkook's role in Calvin Klein's momentum goes beyond traditional advertising. His digital presence acts as a living extension of the brand. Every time he appears in Calvin Klein pieces, whether in official content or casual airport appearances, global fans amplify the exposure organically. This phenomenon has reshaped how fashion marketing operates. Calvin Klein doesn't need to overproduce advertisements when millions of fans voluntarily spread their message. Fan edits, TikTok compilations, and Instagram story reposts often outperform paid content in reach and emotional impact. What's more, Calvin Klein's global campaigns featuring Jungkook have consistently performed better in international markets than domestic ones, particularly in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East. This indicates not just Jungkook's star power, but his role as a bridge between Western fashion and global youth culture. While Calvin Klein has not confirmed any details about Jungkook's role in the upcoming SS26 runway presentation, speculation continues to grow. Industry insiders remain tight-lipped, but several signs point to some level of integration, whether through a pre-recorded message, digital campaign visuals, or even a post-show surprise drop. Regardless of physical appearance, Jungkook's connection to the show is already embedded. The anticipation surrounding his potential involvement has become part of the brand's overall narrative. Fashion fans are not just asking, what will Calvin Klein show this season? They're also asking, how will Jungkook be connected to it? His influence has reshaped how the public perceives Calvin Klein's identity. For many Gen Z and millennial audiences, Jungkook is now the most recognizable face of the brand, more so than any runway model or creative director. Even Veronica Leone's new vision for the brand, while rooted in structural design, benefits from the cultural visibility that Jungkook brings. It's worth noting that Calvin Klein has chosen not to treat Jungkook like a short-term influencer. Instead, their collaboration reflects a long-term investment in shared values: modernity, versatility, authenticity, and global reach. Jungkook, as a member of BTS and as a solo artist, represents the convergence of music, fashion, and digital culture. Calvin Klein recognizes this, and through thoughtful campaign executions, the brand has maintained a careful balance between creative credibility and mass appeal. This is particularly critical as the brand returns to New York Fashion Week. The cultural cachet Jungkook brings can't be replicated with traditional celebrity appearances. It's not just about putting a star on a billboard. It's about aligning with someone who defines current global youth identity. While many fashion houses rely on traditional media and influencer marketing to generate hype, Calvin Klein's collaboration with Jungkook has become an entirely different engine, driven by user-generated content, real-time social response, and sustained global interest that transcends fashion audiences. The Jungkook effect. Real-time global engagement. When Calvin Klein releases a campaign or even a behind-the-scenes clip involving Jungkook, it doesn't just circulate, it dominates. Within minutes, hashtags trend worldwide. On platforms like TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and Weibo, thousands of posts appear from fans dissecting, analyzing, and celebrating each look, pose, or design element. This type of engagement goes beyond surface-level virality. It creates sustained digital conversations, with Calvin Klein at the center of attention for days, even weeks. Analytics firms report that Jungkook-related content tied to Calvin Klein consistently performs in the top 1% of branded fashion content globally. Importantly, these waves of attention aren't regionally contained. Whether it's Jakarta, Sao Paulo, New York, or Dubai, digital audiences treat Calvin Klein drops featuring Jungkook like global events. For the SS26 runway show, this digital ecosystem is already activated. Speculation about his appearance, involvement, or even indirect visual presence is fueling excitement in online spaces traditionally untouched by high fashion, from campaign to culture. Shaping global fashion conversations, one of the most notable outcomes of Jungkook's influence is how it has repositioned Calvin Klein as a culturally relevant fashion house, especially among younger audiences. Gen Z and millennial consumers are no longer driven solely by heritage or legacy. They're looking for brands that feel current, connected, and inclusive. Jungkook's presence provides all of that. His style choices, his understated charisma, and his connection to music and art give Calvin Klein access to emotional credibility without the need for forced messaging. It's not just about clothes. It's about the lifestyle and attitude associated with wearing them. This organic credibility is particularly valuable as Calvin Klein prepares for SS26. Unlike some fashion shows that are promoted through heavy PR cycles and media partnerships, Calvin Klein can rely on global fan communities to organically amplify the event. Fashion pages, army accounts, and pop culture media outlets are already building narratives around what the show might reveal. Without Calvin Klein needing to confirm or preview anything, e-commerce and consumer behavior shift beyond awareness and social engagement. The collaboration with Jungkook has had a direct commercial impact. According to Fashion Retail Analytics, Calvin Klein saw significant spikes in global sales for product lines associated with Jungkook, particularly denim, cotton basics, and outerwear. What's more revealing is the demographic shift. Younger consumers in emerging markets such as Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and parts of Eastern Europe have shown increased interest in Calvin Klein for the first time in several years. Jungkook's image is the trigger, but the product quality and brand message are what retain customers. As Calvin Klein transitions into a more modern, minimal, and digitally fluent brand under Veronica Leoni's direction, Jungkook functions as a cultural translator, bringing fashion to music fans and style to audiences who may not follow NYFW traditionally. This approach proves highly effective in an age where traditional advertising is losing influence. A single candid image of Jungkook in a Calvin Klein bomber jacket posted on a fan account can lead to instant product sellouts, outperforming carefully curated ad campaigns by other brands. Anticipation without confirmation, a digital masterstroke. One of the most interesting developments ahead of the SS26 show is Calvin Klein's refusal to confirm whether Jungkook will appear, attend, or participate in any way. This silence has created what marketing experts describe as strategic ambiguity, allowing excitement and theories to build without giving anything away. This strategy not only protects the surprise factor, but also leverages the anticipatory nature of digital culture. In the weeks leading up to Fashion Week, forums, blogs, reaction channels, and even media outlets have engaged in speculation, each adding to the organic marketing wave. From countdowns on TikTok to speculative outfit sketches on Instagram, fans are not just watching Calvin Klein's SS26 moment, they're actively shaping it. And Calvin Klein is letting the momentum grow on its own, using minimal intervention while benefiting from maximum exposure. This approach differs sharply from traditional runway marketing. Most fashion houses release detailed previews, send out model lists, and flood the press with coordinated visuals. In contrast, Calvin Klein has simply let Jungkook's cultural gravity do the heavy lifting, rewriting the rules of fashion influence in the past. Fashion influence came from stylists, critics, or legacy editors. But today, celebrity influence, especially when backed by a passionate, global fanbase, holds more power in driving brand relevance and visibility. Jungkook, arguably more than any other figure in the current global pop culture landscape, sits at the intersection of style, music, and global identity. With Calvin Klein embracing this new paradigm, the brand is not just launching a fashion collection at SS26, it's presenting a case study in cultural connectivity. The conversation is no longer limited to what goes down the runway. It's about who's wearing it, how they're perceived, and who's watching them. And this model, Jungkook is not a guest, he's a catalyst.